Okay, this second half is just for you who are really interested in being able to take advantage of some technology and getting your note-taking skills refreshed and things like that. So I'm just going to zip through most of this real quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but you will have the video that you can go to the YouTube channel and see it again if you missed something. So don't worry about that. Okay. First off, I'm going to go on taking notes, some test preparation. These are things that I actually teach students over Eastern Florida, whenever they're prepping, because it's a little different there. Even some strategies for taking multiple choice, and I'm going to show you or talk to you about the book review guidelines that you will be doing as first-year students at some point, doing some book reviews. Not every class has a quiz as their way of assuring that you get the material out of the book. So what we do in that case, I'll go ahead and tell you, is that I'll just stick to it later, is the book review is a page and a half. If you go 2 pages or go more than 2 pages, I won't read it, I'll throw it away, right? Because you should be able to put your thoughts, what you got out of the book, into less than, just about a page and a half, okay? The idea is we're going to give you a half a dozen questions you have to answer. Answer the questions and you're done. But to answer it properly, especially if you're going to say what I got out of this book by reading it, you have to actually read the book. So that's that. So note taking. First off, you're in the perfect position, Brianna. Okay. All right. You sit at the front of the class, and the closer you get to the instructor. There's no such thing as teacher's pet in our school. Okay. Don't worry about teacher's pet. All right, because that's something that went away with high school. All right. Here, you want to get close, you want to be able to hear, you want to get this stuff, and you want to be, when you have a question, you want them to notice you, okay? And anyway, it's just wise. So get in there and don't let yourself sit in the very back like Edwin's doing, because sooner or later the coffee's not going to work and you're going to yeah. All right, just stay engaged. And I'm going to tell you what I did whenever I was going to school here, especially when I was getting my master's. I came here to get the Word of God into me. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell on myself. 30 years ago, 25, 28, somewhere around there, I think there was a prophet came, that wasn't me, prophet came to our church, and he said that he saw me talking to a group of people and having blinders fall off of them and just sharing with them, and he encouraged me. He said, but I tell you right now, what you need to do is dig deep in the Word. Just dig in, brother, and God's got something for you. He said, I don't know the timing, but He's got something for you to do. I waited 25 years. And I hated my job. I love my job now. I worked up there on the Cape. I was a manager out there on the couple of the rocket programs and miserable because I didn't want to do what I was doing. And so I finally, and this is 5 years ago, Marvin says, you know what, God, I've tried, I have applied and applied and applied, and I couldn't find anything that was going to still keep my family fed, or whatever. And so it's like, I'm just going to give up, and I'm just going to just make the best of this thing, make myself content with this job. I'm going to do that. And I do know this, though. I believe that you told me I need to dig in the Word. So I called up Pastor David back then, and I said, I'm coming to the university, and I'm going to get my master's. And he said, he didn't say I've heard this before, but I think it was, I think it was, okay. But he said, great, we'll see you. So I came in, and yes, I worked straight through. And the thing is, when I started digging into the Word and seeing what was available, and it changed my family. It changed my life. It changed how I related to my coworkers. People started coming to me for information, asking me questions and stuff. It was amazing, the transformation going on as I was receiving the Word. So I dug in deep, and this is good. All right, I get 1 week before getting my master's degree. 1 week before I was finished. My boss stands up in a meeting. Actually, it was his boss's boss, because it was the vice president of the company. He says, for those who'd like to leave, we'll pay you half of your salary to go. Cool. All right, what do I have to do? So the next morning, I was the first person in 4,000 employees to push the button. I'm out of here. Anyway, within a week after that, I had Eastern Florida call me up and say, hey, if you would be willing to teach a course, an online course for us, we'd love you to come over here and we'll actually pay for you to go get some special training. And I said, okay. And then another department of the school come in and said, well, yeah, we'd like you to teach 2 courses for us in the fall. I said, yeah! All right? It's like, okay, so 2 months before I left my old company, I already had started working, teaching courses, doing something I love, teaching. Now, I leave my company, and now I'm working there, just teaching courses there, and it was not for the money, but I was just teaching, doing what I love to do. I get a an email from Pastor Dan. He said, Mark, if it came available, would you like to run the school? I said, yeah. Yeah, I can do it. And I'm saying all that to say this. You don't know what the choice you've made today to come here and dig into the Word, what God plans to do with it. I didn't, come on.
That's true.
I never thought that I would be doing it. I love what I do. And I love getting to do this with you guys. We get to do the kingdom of God.
Amen.
In power and authority and strength every day. And what you saw back here a few minutes ago when Desi was getting prayed for, that happens here all the time. You know, somebody comes in, I got an ache here or whatever, like this, okay, we go ahead and heal them, get it over with, and move on. It's fun. Okay? So, anyway, you just, it's too good. Okay, let me get going. You already read this up here, so I'm not going to read it for you. You're welcome. If an instructor writes something down, it probably is important. Okay? If I put it on the screen, you better believe it's important. Because whatever's up there is only a small portion of what I have in my notes over here. Okay? So if you see it up there right now, I'm telling you, in my class, not all the instructors do this. Some of them will give you a whole lovely outline of the whole course that you get to make notes on and stuff like this. I don't do that. I don't give you anything. I expect you to take notes, listen, and write stuff down. And at the end of the course, when I'm done saying all my piece, then I'll give you a copy of my PowerPoint slides. Okay? You got to laugh over here. All right? It's true. That's what I do. I'll give it to you after I'm done talking, but I want you to get some of that. And if you're busy looking ahead, you know, reading the scriptures over here that we so nicely put there for you, then you're gonna miss what's going on in the moment. And what I try to bring, and what all of our instructors try to bring, is fresh manna every week. So it may or may not be all of what's written on the PowerPoints. Or maybe something new, maybe something else that we read that we've been digging into. We have for you. We don't want to. Okay?
That's you.
That's how we do that. Okay. I mentioned this because I wanted to say one of the benefits of being in a group like this, you're going to be at the same group all year. Okay? First year students, same group all year long. So you'll find within that group, after you've had a couple of discussion sessions, study partners. You're going to find somebody who lives near you, goes to the same Starbucks you do, or whatever. All right? And you'll end up having somebody that you can share notes with, or discuss things with, talk things up. Even whenever it comes later on to writing your papers, you can help edit each other's stuff. All those things that come out of this, it's really, really beneficial. The thing is, when you do those notes, or if they share theirs with you, make sure that it makes sense to you. Okay? Because just because they give you notes, if it's it's like that Greek class. Okay. Make sure it makes sense to you. Okay, that's that. All right. And I already mentioned up here, you probably already read it, but the video recordings, remember, they're always available. Some of our students, matter of fact, John was saying he's going to be on the road a lot the next 4 or 5 months. So every time he's on the road, he's just going to be listening to the class over and over again. Because here's the thing, and I showed you earlier how you get you're able within the class click the button and watch the video. Right underneath the video is the actual YouTube address. Okay, this is what Christian Hurston does. Now, as soon as he gets that address, he takes those. He'll take all 5 or 12, however many that we already have done. He'll get all those addresses, copy and paste them to an email. Then, when he wants to listen to class, he just goes and clicks on one of those, and he has it on his phone, and he's listening to it, but he's not watching it. Okay? But still using the YouTube video. This is a real beneficial tool. You don't have to watch it to hear it, and hear it over and over again. And the more times you hear it, the more it's going to get into you and help you change. Because I don't know about you, I do know about you because you're just like me. When you read something one time or you hear it one time, it's like, that's cool, okay? And then you can hear the same thing a month later, that's cool. It's like, I kind of think I may have heard that somewhere before, but you're not even sure where or when, okay? But if you'll get it in over and over again, that's what the Bible talks about, having your mind renewed by the washing of the Word, okay? When you do that, it's going to make a difference, okay? All right, next, note taking. The only dumb question is the one you didn't ask and missed on the quiz. Okay? All right. Yes, there are dumb questions. We all know that. All right. Okay. Yeah, there are. You know, like, we have to come here on Thursday night? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, the thing is, there are dumb questions. But if something is confusing to you in class, ask the question. Whether it's raising the hand or emailing your instructor, ask the question. Because what that question means is that they did not communicate something clearly enough for you and maybe someone else too. Okay? I had somebody a few minutes ago, give me your calendar. Thank you. All right. They said, so we have to take all these or can we take some of these? And I didn't communicate this earlier. I'm telling you right now, you're in the core. If you're starting this year brand new, you're in the core. You're going to take all 10 of these courses. Okay? That's how it works. Every student in this school takes these 10 courses. Why? Is Marvin mean? Yes. No. We have we spent a lot of work. We actually consolidated 18 courses into these 10. Okay? We have done our level best to give you everything that you need to be successful in life for the rest of your life in these 10 courses. Everything that you need to be successful in life with these 10 courses. That's why we want you to have them. After you take these 10, I don't care what you take. Take them in any order. Mix and match them. I would say you can't take Greek 2 before Greek 1. Okay? All right? But the rest of them, I don't care. You know, I want you to get the Word in you and you to be changed and transformed. But I'm telling you, that first 10, you're taking them in that order. Or if you miss one, then you'll take it as a online later, or take it next year. But you're going to take those before you get to the others, because it's absolutely foundational for your life. And that's why we did it that way. Okay. All right. Next. Your notes that did that. I mentioned about adding titles. This is it's an individual preference. If you like titles, if it helps you to highlight to remember something, then do it. All right. Same thing, terminology and definitions. I actually mentioned that really because of my work over Eastern Florida, but I'll tell you this. When we give you a Greek word, all right, and we give you a definition of that Greek word, write that down.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it's so valuable for you. It will help you. Okay? It'll help you because when you then take that Greek word and look it up and you see the voluminous pile of information available around that one word. When you see how much more it means. See, when you read the King James Version or the New King James or the NASB or NIV or NLT or the AMP, all right? When you read all of these, every time and every word that you read is one possibility of the meaning of that Greek word. Many of these Greek words will have 15 or 20 different possibilities depending on context. Okay? So that's why we'll encourage you in class. We'll actually be reading from multiple versions. Okay? But when we give you that word, you then have a framework or a starting point to do other research. Okay? You can do that. So anyway, it's valuable. So when we do that, don't waste the opportunity to get it written down and make sure you have a good working definition of that, because it will help you. All right. This is a big one. I love this. I put this on here just this morning. I wouldn't want to forget it. Review your notes. Take advantage of break times and take advantage of the next day at the latest looking at your notes. And make sure that it still makes sense to you. Okay? Because sometimes I'll go, and then I look at it and okay. All right? So just review your notes. And I'm not saying you have to do it every day. I do mention it up here, doing it every day. It's valuable. It's because it's building the word into you. But honestly, you need to at least review them as soon after you've written them, so they still make sense and you still capture the thought. Okay, that's the idea, right? Next, study tips. Don't get too comfortable. All right, all right, all right. Don't try to study in your bed. Don't wait till 10 o'clock at night. Okay. For me, I found that basically my best study times were lunchtime at work. That was my best time for me. I would everybody else is busy doing whatever they did. I would go over and pull up my stuff, and that's when I was studying. And then, of course, if you get here, like I said, on Thursday night at 5 or 6 o'clock, you got an hour to study there too. All right, but do it when you're fresh. Don't wait until you're tired, because you're not going to get anything out of it. Okay. Most important information first, and aim to understand the principles. And that's the thing. You've probably heard of principle-centered leadership. Principles. We're looking at what the deep meaning is. That's what you want to grasp. You want this. If it's going to become part of you, it has to make sense to you. All right. So I'm not concerned about minutia. I'm not concerned about dates. Okay? This ain't high school history class. Okay? This is not high school history class. It's not. We're not concerned about the dates. We're concerned in history class. It was about, the Magna Carta, the Declaration of Independence. Who fought who, where, why? Why did this happen? So we don't make the same stupid mistakes again. That's what history was about, right? But the thing is, I just gave you a whole year of high school in 2 sentences. If you think about how much of the garbage that we had to memorize, okay? We're not about that memorization, but we are about getting the principles. So make sure you've got it. Make sure it makes sense to you. It has to make sense to you, okay? Because that's why you're here, right? Okay. That's that. Moving forward. I'm trying to go quickly, folks, before Edmund starts nodding off again. Okay. All right. Take short breaks frequently. Get up and go for a walk. I'm going to tell you what I did here all the way through school is, especially by second break, I had to. First break, I would go for a walk out here and maybe get a snack. I never drank coffee after second break, because then I wouldn't go to sleep at night. All right. But I would go for a walk in the parking lot. Actually, at one point, I was running around the parking lot. I'd go do push-ups in the hallway or something, anything to get my body moving again. Okay? You do that, then you can focus. Because I'm telling you, you'll have done an 8 or 9 hour day, a work day of somewhere, or you deal with the kids, or whatever you've been doing, and you come in here, it's like your body is going to want to, it's tired. Right. And you're going to drag on you. So do these things to get the blood pumping again. All right? If you have to, go pick a fight with somebody. That'll help. Okay? All right. Set aside a little time to study every day. Yeah, that's logical. All right, so that think of it this way. If you've always been a procrastinator, stop. Okay? Procrastination does not work. If at your age you haven't figured it out yet, it doesn't work. Come on. All right? But it's not about taking and that I have to study and push it hard every day. It's not true. It's not true. But if you'll do just a little bit, if you'll read a little bit of your book, or you'll go over your notes, or listen to a video or something like that, just a little bit, you'll be so much better off, and it'll have become part of your routine very quickly, and you'll do quite well. Okay. Yep, I already did that. Okay. This is important. I did away with one course that we had whenever I was going through. I thoroughly enjoyed getting rid of that course. It was great. In this course, the teacher and the instructor had us get into groups of 4, and she actually picked out, okay, you're going to be this group, the people at this table, you guys are all going to work together and write a term paper. It's like, okay, great. All right, so now we go through the term paper, and everybody had to put their inputs that we would then consolidate and turn into one paper that all of us would grade for. Well, what happened?
One person, 2 people do the work.
I wrote the paper. All right. I had one person who actually gave me some really good input. He and I actually worked together on it, and 2 other slugs.
This was not at this school. This was not at this school. Would you right, or yes.
No, it
This was at this school.
It was
At this school. Did I say slug out? I said slug on tape. They didn't do anything, but they got an A because I was going to have my A, and the other guy I worked with, we both took it seriously. So that's why I put this up here. It's only studying a group if everybody in the group's serious.
Yeah.
Otherwise, get another group.
Yeah.
Okay? All right? Look, don't keep reviewing the stuff you know. If you know it, you don't have to review it because you know it. Review the stuff you don't know. Review the stuff that irritates you.
Yep.
Okay? The stuff that bugs you, that you don't really like, review that. Okay? Because you laugh at this, aren't you? It's the truth.
Well, my first thought was
It's
how
the
do you
truth.
review a spouse?
If you
But I don't have one, I'm just saying.
If you'll take the stuff that bothers you, it's like, ask yourself, why does that bother me? Why does that bother me? He says we can be prosperous, and God's called us to be prosperous in all things, even as our soul prospers. That means I'm supposed to be able to have good health and be financially secure and be able to bless other people with my overflow. I'm not sure I agree with that. My parents were poor. We didn't have anything. And man, you got to scrape and you got to be a survivalist, man. You got to just dig in every day and just hope you make it to the end. I get it. I get it. My grandparents were Depression era, just like most of you, all right, or a lot of you. But no, Depression era, and so they scraped by. And my dad picked up on that, and he could make anything work forever and use baling wire and duct tape. I get it. All right. The thing is, God's called us to something greater.
Right.
And if it bothers you for me to tell you that, you need to study it.
That's right.
All right? You need to get a mind change, get a brainwash. This is a positive brainwash. That's what renewing your mind is. Okay? You need to get that. Okay? So, I put this down here just for you guys. Warriors embrace discomfort to win. That's what soldiers do. All right? That's what they do. They get comfortable with being uncomfortable. All right? Take it and make a decision that I'm running this sucker all the way to the end. I'm running it to the end, and I'm doing it with Holy Spirit. I'm doing it with God. He's with me. I'm with Him. We're going to do this thing because He's got something greater for me than what I've been doing before. Because what's the old saying? If you keep doing the same thing you've always done, you'll get what you've always got.
That's right.
All right? I'm doing something different. I'm doing it God's way. I'm running with Him. You're going to achieve and become something more. And God will be able to use you better.
Amen.
Okay. All right. Study tips. Don't study later until you usually go to sleep. I already mentioned that, so we'll cut forward here. I already mentioned the times when I did it, so I'm going to move forward. If you can, eat something before you get here. If not, we have snacks. Most of these are sugar snacks. If you want to bring something in here that's to eat, I've got a microwave. You can warm up snacks or food, and whatever. We would do our best to help you in that regard. But eat something. Make sure you don't try and do these classes on an empty stomach. Drink water. I know that I've actually got my fridge here full of water. I used to have a lot of Cokes in there, and people get the Cokes because they love the caffeine and stuff, but frankly, the water's better for you. So I stopped buying the Coke. So anyway, yes, I have control. No, you can bring all the Cokes you like. I don't care. But I found that if I would drink water, I could last longer and do better. And since I'm letting you benefit from what I learned the hard way. Okay. Also, if you that coffee is the coffee that you come in here. I will always have it double strength at 6 o'clock. After that, it's going to be normal strength or whatever. But when you first get in here, it's there. And then after that, it's however we fix it. I do that because people sometimes need that jolt. But I'll advise you, don't drink anymore after that first one. Okay? If you want to go to sleep when you get home. Now, honestly, you're going to be excited with stuff you've learned, and it's probably going to take you at least an hour to wind down when you get home anyway. All right? I'll give you that right now. But you don't want to be 2 o'clock in the morning saying, why did I do that? Okay. All right. Next, I already told you about teaching a kid things you need to recall. That's a good deal. Next, on the quizzes and tests, read the directions. Read the instructions. It's usually going to be real simple. Answer all of these, okay? All right. But when you read the questions, you know, read all of the answers. Because it really stinks when you saw the first one, yep, that's right, and you click off and you realize at the very bottom it said all the above, and you had 5 things that are also included in that answer. So read all of the answers before you push the button. Okay? All right, that's just good stuff, I'm telling you. I do have a couple instructors who are tricky. One of them is Kevin Radlin. I think that he does it because he was because he messed up so much in high school. Yeah. And I think that he's like somehow taking it to the next generation. I don't know. But on his especially, read it carefully and pay attention, okay? And I'll tell you this, remember on all of them, the information's in the book. It's in the book. So if you question, if you're not sure, open the book because you're not being rushed, especially if you start taking the quizzes the first week or so instead of waiting until 6 days after class is over. Okay,
Yes.
all right, let's see. All right, that's enough for that. This is just smart skip it. Now, the nice thing we are able to do here, remember, because it's online and because you can leave it and come back, all right, there's no pressure to do it right now. So if something you're not sure about, go get your book out and figure it out, okay? All right, enough on that. Multiple choice. And just a couple things I really want to share here. I'll leave that up for a second so you can see it on the video. Okay, moving forward. Okay, after you've taken a test, make a note of things you don't understand. And this is what's cool. Most of the time, we have them now set up. And if yours is not that way when you take a quiz, so where you're able to immediately see what your wrong answers were, call Casey, and we'll activate it, make sure you can. Okay? That is our intention. Sometimes we forget it as we're building the quizzes, but it's just one button we have to push, and then you can see your answers. Because I want you to learn from it, and if it's right then, if I just made the mistake, and now I have the real answer, now you've got it. Okay? All right? Because it's much more important that you get the information than whether you had 100% of the quiz. Okay? All right. Oh, extra credit. And I had Christian Hurston. You're welcome. I'm saying this for you, buddy. All right. Christian Hurston has been pushing. He says, can we get extra credit if we want to be able to bring our scores up? I said, yes. You can get extra credit. All you have to do is talk to your instructor. I would suggest doing it earlier in the course rather than later because normally that extra credit will be something like this. It will either be do something, I want it to be something creative. Okay? Extra credit should be something like this. Write a poem, write a song, draw a picture, paint a picture, create a video, create some sort of, if you want to get 2 or 3 of your friends together and act out a scene from the thing that describes what you learned in the course. Something that's creative, that's using it. And the reason why I say arrange for this earlier rather than later is because you want to make sure the instructor has room in his schedule to put you in there and allow you to do it for the rest of the class so everyone benefits, whatever that thing is. I had last year, we had people who, I had Kathleen Nevers, she was just sitting over here. She actually came in and did a rap that she wrote. Okay, she wrote it and she went to Pastor Chris and he created some music to go with it and she came in and rapped a thing. It was hilarious. We had such a good time. And we had others that created poems or stories and Christian Hurston actually painted a picture, you know. So there's a lot of things, but I want all of the people in your class to benefit from the thing that you do. That's special. Okay? You like that? Okay, I think it's kind of cool. And so here's the thing, with the extra credit, you can conceivably, it's possible. I've actually arranged and designed our system such that if you have 100% for the course and you extra credit on top of that, it's possible to get 105%. 100, yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So those people who are real, I've got to have an A average. Hi, Christian. Anyway, I've got to have an A average. All right, then you can do extra credit, and actually, if you've dropped it down because of someplace you missed the mark, you can actually increase it over time. Actually, it's not 105, it's 101 still. The point is you can possibly get greater than the 4.0. You get 4.01 or something. Anyway, all right, enough of that. Moving forward, I told you up front, so if you guys want extra credit, you have to ask your instructor because I'm not going to ask them for you. Okay? All right, next, multiple choice. No penalty for guessing, but I wouldn't advise it because you have the book open. Okay? Go with your gut. I would not advise that. It works on the quizzes I do at Eastern Florida. Here, open your book. Okay? Let's see. In this, it talks about if it says all the above or none of those, you can eliminate the possibility if you can find one other answer. That's just logic. I love logic. Okay? So if it says if there's an all of the above down there, just see if there's at least two of them that are true. If they are, go with the all of the above. Same goes the other way. Okay? Next. I already did the all the above. Let that go. Just pause. Okay, next. Okay. Qualifiers like never, always, and every mean the same. It must be true all the time. Usually these lead to false answers. Okay? Okay. Qualifiers like usually, sometimes, and generally give some freedom there, so very likely it's a true answer. This is stuff I taught my kids. I might as well teach you, right? If any part of the question is false, the entire statement is false. Don't argue with me, people.
Right, yeah.
Okay? If I say exactly verbatim what the book says, but then I say it's found here, not there, then it's wrong.
Right.
Okay? I told you. All right, that's what I have there. I've already shown you the other information from campuses I did it earlier. So, questions?
When you said there's a time limit on the test, I mean, that's maximum time.
No.
Is there maximum time?
I said the opposite of that. I said Amazon likes us to have a time limit on the quiz or test. It says 60 minutes, but I'm telling you, you can access it, you can leave it open, you can close it, come back to it. Until you push submit, it's not done. Okay? All right? I see what this is telling me. I wasn't clear before, so thank you. It's not a stupid question. Right? I'm saying it's good. This is the kind of thing. I didn't mean to say it that way. I didn't mean to be negative. All right, sorry. I didn't mean any negative. I was explaining the point. The fact of the matter is, we need to understand. So please ask those questions. What else do we have? Now, Philip's going to think it's not stupid. Philip, go ahead.
No, it's not stupid, but what you're saying is that if you wanted to, you could actually use the exam to guide your reading.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The same way that your mom, your dad, your instructors taught you back in high school, they said, look at the questions first before you read the chapter.
Then you can answer it.
Okay, this is doable, okay? It's all right to do that. You can look at the questions first and then read your book, or while you're reading your book, okay? Let it guide you, and because we've specifically, I'm going to tell you, when I go through and I read these books that I'm going to create a test from, I'm highlighting stuff that's important, and that's where I create my questions. So if I'm asking you the question, it's because it's important, and that's why, and I want you to dig it out for yourself, okay? What else? There was somebody had a question earlier during the break. You asked me, and it had to do maybe with this or whatever. Did I answer it again in here for everybody? I did? Okay.
Yeah, you did.
All right. I want to make sure that, because I didn't communicate clearly before. Oh, that was on the core thing. The core thing. Making sure all of you know you're all taking core. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Also
First year.
explain why you would transfer your credits over.
For those that already have a degree,
Yes, I clarified that. When you, if you already have say a bachelor's degree, that's your 120 credit hours from somewhere else. You come here to the school. If you want to first go for an associate's, which is just smart because you don't know what you're going to do 2 years from now, but 1 year you can probably plan for. Then at the end of 1 year, you're able to take 30 of those credit hours, apply it, and so at the end of 1 year with us, if you already have 30 hours somewhere else, you will have an associate's in theology in 1 year, if you already have 30 credit hours from somewhere else. Does that make sense? So you don't have to have had an associate's or a bachelor's somewhere else, 30 hours somewhere else. And we'll put it up to, so you can do a few more hours, but whatever. So the point is, you can do that. So then when you go for your bachelor's, up to 60 hours. So we throw another 30 hours of your other schooling together. So in 2 years, it's possible for you to do 2 years with us. You've already had 60 hours somewhere else to have a bachelor's here in theology. Okay? All right. That is the only place that we apply credits from other schools. We do not apply if you have a master's in engineering or economics or something like that. We don't apply that to a master's in theology, because to have a master's in theology, you should have also had undergraduate work in theology
Right.
to build into that. All right, so that's why whenever I came here, I already had a master's from somewhere else, but I still did 3 years to get my master's here.
Right.
Does that make sense? Okay, yes, Sir Philip.
Yep, you have to.
Sir Philip.
Rise, Mike. So do you have to finish the core before you get into like the pastoral or the theology
Yes.
track?
Yes, you must finish the core first. I don't care when you start, because you're going to have some folks that won't start until next March. All right, they must finish the course before they do the others. Core is essential. That's why it's called core. Okay. After that, you can take any courses that you want to in any order, like I mentioned before. Anything else?
So, for instance, I've taken all the courses that are in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you can do,
I go
Cherie's got a
back?
good point. We did, with this year, we have done a swap. The things that were in the fall, many of them have moved to this, correction, were the spring, have moved to the fall. But we did that because there was not a logical order before. Now they're in a more logical order, where things build, and input. And frankly, I'm getting you to the point, because we added this year what was a second-year course, basic Christian doctrines, which is really systematic theology. We have moved it into the first year, but because we put it almost at the end of the year, we're stripping out things that we've gone over during the year for that course, so that they have more time to concentrate on the things that we have not. Okay? And so it becomes a really, all these things are building together to do that. So the point is that Cherie was making, because she took some spring classes that we're now having in the fall, yes, you can jump over and do the theology or pastoral leadership course if you want to in place until those show up. Or you can do the online version of what we did last year in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Either one. But I would suggest, go ahead in your case, because that's not a very large percentage of people, just go ahead and take the other course. All right? But whenever when your stars align, when you come back into place there, then go ahead and take the rest of your core and get it done. Okay? All right, yes ma'am.
Norm, is it possible for the internship credits to also be based on prior service, leadership type service in the church? If you're serving in the church?
No.
Okay, so it has to be from the class, not what you've already done.
Here's the thing. The reason why Giselle is bringing this up is that in the past we had what they call strategic service practicum every year. All right, and people would, if they're on some kind of serve team or ushering or whatever, they would apply and get 75 hours worth of that for the year, and then we give them some credits for doing it. All right. And it was all well and good. It's fine. However, it was not really targeted to build you up and bring you up to becoming and doing the things that God's called you to do. It was just giving you like free credits. So I did away with it. You're welcome. All right. But what we've done to replace that is something that is so much deeper, so much more valuable. When you're not even required, if you're in the theology curriculum, you're not required to do any strategic service. Right? It's great if you do. It's wonderful. You should do it. It's valuable for you. It's valuable for the church and your community, and it builds you up so much. But the new pastoral leadership internship that we've created, you are linked in a mentorship relationship with a leader in the church who will then, you will be accountable to them for 160 hours. That basically comes down to 8 hours a week for 5 months. Okay? That's what that comes down to. Or it could be You know, you can stretch it over the 8 months or 9 months or whatever, however you want you and your mentor work it out. Okay? That's how it works. But you, in doing that, they would then take and place you in a position where you'd be co-leading a freedom group, co-leading usher team, co-leading something like this, working besides someone else, so you're understanding, growing into the understanding of how the ministry really works. Okay? It's so much more valuable. So that's why we did it. And so if you want to go strictly just theology, just to learn in that way, there's no need for you to ever do it. But if you want to, it's open to you. Okay? Anything else? All right. I aim to get you out of here at 8 o'clock and 3 minutes after. All right. I want you to know that you are loved and you're going to love being here.
Yes.
This is going to be a blast. And I want you to take these things and get some more people to join you. You'll have fun and you'll cut a lot of your costs by doing so. Okay? All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.